Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to our Santa Lucia Land Annual Stockholders Meeting. My name is Jeremiah Pampolina, the Chief Compliance Officer, and I will be the moderator for our session today. Welcome to the Annual Stockholders Meeting, Santa Lucia Land Incorporated, being conducted by video conference. I kindly request all participants to keep their microphones on mute. We shall start the proceedings with an opening prayer and the Philippine national anthem. Let's put ourselves in the presence of the Lord, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Lord, thank you for this gathering of leaders, officers of Santa Lucia Land, directors, and of course our stockholders and VIPs. We pray for a smooth meeting as we report the performance of the company the past year. Please bless us as we continue to serve you, because all of this we do for your greater glory. Amen. In the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We shall now play Philippine national anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, helos ng sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Upang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong panggaw, ay hinagang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang lang matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan ang may di magtitindig. Luman ang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you. We shall now begin the meeting prompt. We welcome our chairman, Mr. Vicente R. Santos, sir, to start the proceeding. Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
Hello, thank you. Good morning, everyone. To safeguard the interests of the stockholders and participants of today's meeting, the annual stockholders meeting is online only online event. On behalf of the Board of Directors and Management of Santa Lucia Land Inc., I wish to extend my warmest welcome and appreciation for the participation of our stockholders at today's annual stockholders meeting. Joining us today meeting are the directors and officers of the corporation. I myself, Vicente Santos, Ezekiel Robles, the President, David De La Cruz, Executive Vice President, CFO, and the Chief Risk Officer, Marisa Santos Tan, Treasurer, Aurora Robles, Assistant Treasurer, Attorney Patricia Bunyi, Corporate Secretary, Attorney Eric Dean Kim Ching, Assistant Corporate Secretary, Attorney Crystal Prado, Assistant Corporate Secretary, Jeremiah Pampolina, Chief Compliance Officer and Vice President of Investor Relations and Corporate Planning, Ace Francis Kuntapay, Internal Auditor and Data Protection Officer. The directors are Vicente Santos, Ezekiel Robles, Antonio Robles, Aurora Robles, Simeon Cua, Marisa Santos Tan, Oreste Santos, Danilo Antonio, and retired Court of Appeal Justice Renato Francisco. I will now call the meeting to order. The first order of the business is the certification by the Secretary of the sending of due notice to all stockholders of the corporation and the determination of existence of a quorum. May I request the Secretary to please certify as to the proper sending of notice and existence of the quorum consistent with the corporation bylaws?
Mr. Chairman, for purposes of this annual stockholders meeting, notice is hereby given that the proceedings are being recorded in accordance with the Anti-Wiretapping Act in relation to SEC Memorandum Circular Number 6, Series of 2020. Accordingly, I hereby certify that notices of today's annual stockholders meeting have been published in the business section of two newspapers of general circulation, the Manila Bulletin and Business Mirror, on May 25 and 26, 2023, in print and online format, in compliance with the SEC notice dated March 13, 2023. Moreover, electronic copies of the notice of today's meeting, information statement, and management report and annual report are available on the corporation's website and have been disclosed on PSE Edge. Further, I have examined all proxies on file and the list of stockholders present at today's meeting. On the basis of my examination, I certify that out of the total number of shares outstanding as of May 12, 2023, the holders of 1,427,997 shares are present through remote communication, while the holders of 6,701,005,767 shares are present by proxy, for a total of 6,702,433,764 shares registered as present. This represents 80.7868% of the total outstanding shares. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I hereby certify that a quorum is present for the transaction of business by the stockholders.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. I hereby declare the existence of a quorum. Pursuant to Section 49 of the Revised Corporation Code, may I request the Secretary to please discuss the material information on the current stockholders and their voting rights?
Mr. Chairman, based on the list of stockholders as of May 12, 2023, prepared by the corporation's stock transfer agent, there are 263 stockholders of the corporation. With regard to their voting rights, at each meeting of the stockholders, every stockholder shall be entitled to vote in person or by proxy, through remote communication or in absentia, for each share of stock held by him, which has voting power upon the matter in question. A majority of the subscribed capital present in person or represented by proxy shall be sufficient to constitute a quorum for the election of directors and for the transaction of any business whatsoever, except in those cases in which the revised corporation code requires the affirmative vote of a greater portion. A description of the voting procedure for the election of directors and, except upon demand by any stockholder, the votes upon any question before the meeting, except for the procedural questions determined by the chairman of the meeting, is available on the corporation's website. A description of stockholders' voting rights was included in the definitive information statement of the corporation, copies of which are available in the corporation's website or on PSE Edge.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Secretary. We shall proceed to the next item in the agenda. The next item on the agenda is the review and approval of the minutes of the annual stockholders meeting held last June of 17, 2022. Copies of the said minutes are available on the corporation's website. May I request the Secretary to discuss the proposed resolution and voting result for this item of the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, the adoption of the resolution being flashed on the screen is being proposed. Of the votes cast, 100% of the shares represented in the meeting voted in favor of the resolution. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, the resolution is approved.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. We shall proceed to the next item in the agenda. The next item on the agenda is the report of the Board of Directors. May I now call our Chief Compliance Officer, Mr. Jeremiah Pampolina, to present the report on the Board of Directors.
Mr. Chairman, the profiles and qualifications of the directors were included in the definitive information statement of the corporation, copies of which are available in the company's website or on PSE Edge. For the year 2022-2023, the meetings held were as follows. Annual stockholders meeting dated June 17, 2022. Organizational meeting of the Board of Directors dated June 17, 2022. Special meeting of the Board of Directors dated November 29, 2022. And special meeting of the Board of Directors dated March 30, 2022. The attendance report of the Board of Directors is as follows. Vicente Santos, 4 meetings. Ezequiel Robles, 4 meetings. Manisa Santos, 4 meetings. Aurora Robles, 4 meetings. Antonio Robles, 4 meetings. Simeon Cua, 4 meetings. Oreste Santos, 4 meetings. Danilo Antonio, 4 meetings. Retired Court of Appeals Justice Renato Francisco, 4 meetings. The related party transactions were the Board of Directors were included in the definitive information statement of the corporation, copies of which are available on the corporation's website or on PSE Edge. With regard to the compensation report, the directors do not receive any form of compensation except in the case of directors for a per diem of 15,000 per meeting of the Board of Directors. Apart from the per diem in the amount of 15,000 pesos, there are no standard arrangements or other arrangements between the corporation and the directors. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Pampolina. We shall proceed to the next item in the agenda. The next item on the agenda is the consideration of the reports of the President. May I now call our President, Mr. Ezequiel Robles, to present the report of the President.
Good morning to all, to our stockholders, Santa Lucia Land Incorporated, Board of Directors, and officers, and the special VIP guests. We are excited to report that Santa Lucia Land Incorporated registered gross revenue of 9.8 billion, resulting in a new high net income of 3.4 billion, an increase of 18 and 21% respectively compared to that of 2021. Our balance sheet continued to expand as total asset increased by 11% to a record 57.4 billion. The company expects to continue this growth momentum through our land banking initiative within and outside Metro Manila. For years to 2022, Santa Lucia Land has continued to grow and strengthen its foundation in emerging growth provinces through continuous consolidation, where the company has had proven and continued success, including new pioneer areas. Land acquisition and joint venture agreement totaling 505 hectares were approved by the Board of Directors in the following areas: Novaliches, Quezon City, Binyang, Laguna, Mabayat, Laguna, Santa Rosa, Laguna, Buwan, Batangas, Lian, Batangas, Lipa, Batangas, Cebu, Batangas, Balas, Rizal, Quinta, Rizal, Manila, Rizal, San Mateo, Rizal, Tanay, Rizal, Taytay, Rizal, Plaridel, Bulacan, San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, Bayambang, Pangasinan, Mangaldan, Pangasinan, Mexico, Pampanga, Talisay City, Negros Occidental, Bacolod City, Dumangas, Iloilo, Tupi, South Cotabato, Tapa, Surigao del Norte, Del Carmen, Surigao del Norte. We also expanded our commercial properties adjacent to our residential communities with over 137.3 hectares across the nation, with the goal of increasing recurring revenues for the group. In support of this, Santa Lucia Group is currently building a mall in Davao called Santa Lucia Mall Davao, which is located across the Davao International Airport. It aims to be a lifestyle mall for surrounding residential communities and the transit areas for local and international travelers in Davao region. In terms of seals of excellence, your company was recognized as one of the high growth companies in the Asia Pacific on April 2022, being ranked as top 288 among the best companies in the region. This award was given by the prestigious Financial Times and Nikkei Asia, and is another testament to our commitment to service, leadership, and integrity as our core values. We were looking forward to a full business recovery, and together we have achieved that. As our foundation remains strong, we will continue to build on the next level of success and performance to better serve our loyal customers. Thank you to our visionary board, strategic management team, hardworking employees and partners who have been with us as we continue to provide quality real estate community developments to our client. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Robles. We shall proceed to the next item in the agenda. In accordance with the standard corporate practice, the next item on the agenda is the request for the ratification of all acts of the Board of Directors and Management of the Corporation from 17 June 2022 to 15 of June 2023. May I request the Secretary to discuss the proposed resolution and voting result for these agenda items?
The list of all acts of the board of directors and management of the corporation from June 17, 2022 to June 15, 2023. Screen. The resolution being flashed on the screen is being resolution. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, the resolution is approved.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Secretary. We shall proceed to the next item in the agenda. Pursuant to the provision of the bylaws, the members of the Board of Directors will have to be elected for 2023-2024. Pursuant to amended bylaws of the corporation on the nomination procedure for the corporation independent directors, I and the President, Mr. Ezekiel Robles, submitted signed nomination to the nomination committee. The nomination committee then pre-screened the nomination and disclosed the name of the nominees to the SEC in the corporation information sheet. With regard to the 7 members of the Board of Directors of the corporation for the year 2023-2024, the stockholders submitted the signed nomination to the nomination committee. The corporate secretary is now requested to announce the nominees for the independent directors of the corporation for the year 2023-2024, as shortlisted by the nomination committee, and the nominees of the directors of the corporation for the year 2023-2024.
Following are the nominees for independent directors of the corporation for the year 2023 to 2024. Retired Court of Appeals Justice Renato C. Francisco and Danilo A. Antonio. The following are the nominees for directors of the corporation for the year 2023 to 2024. Vicente R. Santos, Ezekiel D. Antonio D. Robles, Aurora D. Robles, Marisa Santos Tan, Orestes R. Santos, John S. Cua. The qualifications of the nominees were included in the definitive information statement of the corporation, copies of which are available in the company's website or on PSE Edge.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. May I request for the voting result of this for this agenda item?
Mr. Chairman, based on the tally of votes as confirmed by the transfer agent, Professional Stock Transfer Incorporated, the 2 nominees for independent directors and 7 nominees for directors of the corporation are declared duly elected as directors of the corporation for the year 2023 to 2024. The votes garnered by each based on the number of shares represented in this meeting are shown on the screen. The total election votes amounted to 100%.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. We shall now proceed to the next item in the agenda. Every year, the stockholders appoint external auditor of the corporation for the ensuing year. This agenda item is for the appointment of Sisig Gores Belayo and Company as an external auditor of the corporation for the calendar year 2023-2024. May I request the Secretary to discuss the proposed resolution and voting result for this item agenda?
Mr. Chairman, the adoption of the resolution being flashed on the screen is being proposed. Of the votes cast, 100% of the shares represented in the meeting voted in favor of the resolution. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, the resolution is approved.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. We shall proceed to the next item in the agenda. We will now address the question and comment from our stockholders sent via email as stated in the guidelines and of the participation of this meeting available on the corporation website.
Mr. Chairman, there were no emails or questions sent, but so thus this concludes our question and answer portion. As stated in the guidelines, we will reply to all other questions and comments by sending an email directly to the stockholders. I will now turn over the floor to the chair.
Thank you, Mr. Ampolina. There being no other matter to be considered for this meeting. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for participating in the 2023 annual stockholders meeting of the corporation. Thank you.
Ryan, pakiplay ang video.